face. And I've always said, you know, when a top dart player's smiling and feeling great in himself, then you've got a great dart player. And to see the previous match, that's what's happened to Raymond Barneveld now. I mean, years ago, well, a year ago, Raymond wouldn't have come back from 5-2 down. He did. But this game, Andy Hamilton, the form horse. And we talked about Gary Anderson, he's doubting himself. But in front of this home crowd, Rodders, you know, he's got to start pumping that treble 20 like he knows he can.
68 180s from Anderson in the Premier League last year. Only one in his first match in 2012 at Manchester Arena. Hamilton hit 5 in defeating James Wade.
Well, as we said, certainly Hamilton out of the two is the form horse. But Anderson, I mean, he's starting to hit the 5s a lot the last couple of 3 weeks. I think that's just that he's not throwing the dart hard enough. I'd rather see that dart go high than I would have it go low, because when it's high you can work on that, but a low dart, it's very hard to work the length and the line on that low dart.
Anderson, very much a confidence player. This isn't going to help Andy Hamilton. He's hitting the trebles, but not the right treble. 26.
Well, that's let Anderson in, and that's a perfect dart. That's exactly where he wants him. He's going to miss.
100.
Very good 3 darts. So that was just a straight ton. The first 2 are absolutely perfect on that top wire. And that's what Anderson's game's all about. Getting the first dart in a great position and then working the other 2 into that. Well, that's a great position for Andy Hamilton.
That's a great position. Well, 140 settle for that. He's going to get first crack at an out shot. Anderson looking to hit a 140 himself. He won't be doing that.
43. And he requires 140.
Hamilton will feel that he's going to get 6 darts from 114, so don't miss any big numbers. We know that Anderson can take the 141 out, but the crowd has given Hamilton a little bit of stick. But this man won't worry about the crowd. Very focused, as we can see here. Double top for his first leg.
94. Got you require 141.
Well, could Anderson possibly pick this one up? Oh, double 12 for a 141, out of the blue.
29.
Hadn't given us any indication that he was capable of doing that on tonight's form, but he almost did, and now Hamilton will want to clean up this double 10.
Yeah, and clean it up. First dart. I mean, that's a perfect guide. He just moves across, makes that dart a brick wall, bouncing it off of that. Oh, he did bounce it right off it. Well, a chance here for Anderson to take this first leg.
Well, double 6 almost took out the 141, and this to hold his own throw after Hamilton's missed 4 darts to break. And double 6 it is, and Hamilton will rue those missed chances, and that might just be the confidence boost that Gary Anderson needs.
As Anderson walked past Hamilton there, he just tapped him on the back and said, unlucky. I don't know whether I'd have done that on the stage. I might have said to him in the back room afterwards, but certainly not on the stage. But that's the friendly atmosphere that the 2 players are showing. And you can hear the crowd really is rocking the roof off of this place.
96.
This pair of players last met on TV back in the match play in the summer of last year. Hamilton won in the first round 10-6. Really was the tournament that resurrected his whole career, wasn't it? He had that unbelievable miracle comeback against Simon Whitlock. He got to the semis, and suddenly it was hammer time once more.
Well, he's always been what we call a solid player, a bit like Mark Walsh. And
78.
you always have to play really well to beat them. They're not going to give you an easy game. But certainly, as you said, Hamilton is really enjoying the game at the moment. Anderson, not really, he just doesn't seem right, and players go through that spell in their career where they're just not happy, but when you've got the scoring ability of Anderson, you know that any second it's going to turn round.
Do you think Hamilton starts spraying them around as well? Do you think Anderson can turn it around within one game, or is it going to take him a couple of weeks to get back on form?
No, the ability of players like Anderson and Lewis and Wade, they literally can turn it around in one leg, one match. You know, they can go far off, and all of a sudden they find the form, they find the throw, and then they kind of say to themselves, what have I been worrying about? And all of a sudden a negative becomes a positive, and the person they're playing is in trouble.
What is happening to Andy Hamilton?
40.
He's hitting all sorts of big ones, treble ones, single sevens.
97.
Anderson, what's Phil Taylor doing out there? Double top. On the top wire and in, so Anderson goes 2-0 up. He could easily have lost the first leg. He won it after Hamilton missed 4 at the double, and suddenly Anderson's confidence will be coming back. He's 2 up.
And now with the throw. And again, Rod, I mean, them first 2 darts are so close to being absolutely perfect. You know, it's hard to doubt yourself when you're throwing great darts that are just on the top wire.
Phil Taylor up next against Kevin Painter. Rounding up the action, James Wade and Simon Whitlock here in Aberdeen. Night 2 of the 2012 Premier League, and a jam-packed crowd shoehorned in here.
39.
Terrific fun atmosphere here tonight, Rod. They're lapping it up.
Yeah, it's always a great atmosphere when we come to Scotland. The Irish crowd in Belfast next week, they'll be the same. Very passionate about their darts. Certainly the Scottish are passionate about their home player, Gary Anderson.
58.
They're hoping that he can get a win under his belt. He didn't play too well against Kevin Painter last week. But certainly now starting to get going. Gary Anderson puts the first maximum on the board, and is that the 3 darts that's going to see him push this game and get a 2 points.
Well, Andy Hamilton
38.
just hasn't got off the grid, has he? At all here. He's averaging in the mid-70s. Anderson in the mid-80s, but Hamilton is a shadow of the player that won so comfortably last week against James Wade, averaging 9 on the ton, Rodney.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought Andy Hamilton would have been intimidated by the crowd. It's a totally different atmosphere from an actual tournament. You know, the noise is constant the whole time. But Hamilton's normally someone that can shut it off, but certainly not finding it at the moment.
He doesn't need to go 19s here, with Hamilton way back. 88 left.
54.
72 left. But plenty of time here, Rod, unless Hamilton fires in a max.
Well, he needs a 140 minimum, you would think. He's not done it. Now that's an absolute perfect dart for Hamilton. He'll be looking at least 1 more in there. He's going to be disappointed if this is not a 140, Rodders.
83.
Well,
Gary requires 72.
Somehow leaves a finish if he gets a crack at it. He was going for the treble 16, but he's hit single 8. 64 left. He's going to have to go 14, won't he? He can't afford to take too many chances. Now he's missed that.
32.
Well, he took a chance there, and Hamilton's not going to take this out. And sometimes, what you never do, you never give your opponent a chance at anything. If he takes this out, Gary Anderson will feel, well, that's the first leg of the 3 darts. That's the second, wants the bullseye.
He's way off, but Anderson's got away with that. You're right, Rod, he was on 64, he went for treble 8, didn't he? Not the single 14. He now wants tops anyway, which way, and he hits it right in the middle. He took a chance, didn't he? And in the end, the chance came up.
But if you keep giving your opponent a chance, one day it will come back and kick you, and it will be at a crucial time. But he got away with it. 3 legs to 0 up Anderson against Andy Hamilton, and certainly Hamilton now just got to focus. He's not really been up to his scoring power that he needs to get to take on Anderson.
Well, Hamilton's so disorientated he didn't even know whose throw it was. It is his throw. Hamilton, his head is in a spin.
Well, Anderson, absolutely, the crowd, every single one of them singing his name. But Andy Hamilton wouldn't have witnessed this before, Rod. You know what I mean? You know, he's been in front of the big crowds when they've been noisy, but not constant like this is tonight. And it's a great